Okay, good morning. I have sent the links to the playlist over on email, and if you are watching on replay, you should have them in your email as well. I choose not to share the sound via computer audio because it tends to be a little bit clunky. So I've given you a couple of options for the playlist. So first of all, I'm going to say just get comfortable. So whatever that means to you, if that's sitting up or if that is lying down. There is going to be at the end of the class a little bit of movement. We're going to do some uplifting breaths and then a little bit of a somatic practice. So that will be a little bit of movement at the end, but I'll let you know when that is. And before then, it's all about getting comfortable. So wherever you are, whether that's seated or laying down, I'm going to invite you to just close down your eyes. And we're going to start to journey inwards a little bit. So I want you to start to notice what the breath is doing within the body. Notice where it's going to. Is it fast and shallow? Or is it slow and deep? I want you to take a baseline at the beginning of the class, first of all, of your mind, with one being it feels slow and still and maybe sluggish, and 10 feeling fast, lots of thoughts, really busy. I just want you to give it score it a number between 1 and 10, with 5 being the optimal, the Goldilocks in the middle. And the same with your body. How is your body feeling? Do you feel, is it a 1? Is it heavy, weighed down, tense? Or is it a 10? Is it feeling busy and energized, but maybe a little bit agitated? And just take a note at the beginning of where you're at. I'm not placing any judgment, not making up any stories about why your mind or your body is feeling this way. Just noticing. And as you are breathing, I want you to start to take the breath all the way down to your tummy area. So the top of the tummy should feel an expansion. And you should feel it moving to the side of your ribs at the side before it moves up into the chest. And this belly breathing, this expansive breathing, this is our optimal breath. If this isn't your natural state, if you're used to breathing into the chest, or used to breathing shallowly, I would maybe encourage you to place your one hand on your tummy, at the top of your tummy, and the other hand on your heart space. And just starting to feel where the breath is moving to. So just placing one hand at the top of the tummy and one hand on the heart space, and noticing where the breath is. And we're going to start to just connect to the breath a little bit by warming up the diaphragm. So I'm going to ask you to get 2 fingers and just start to massage around the jaw. Let's really get the fingers into where the top and the bottom jaw connect. And this is typically where we hold a lot of tension. And this is because our jaw is intrinsically linked to our diaphragm. And all of these tiny, tiny little muscles around our jaw and our face, when we hold our breath, when we're not breathing deeply, when we're not speaking our truth or saying what we really need, these begin to tighten. And by just giving ourselves a little massage in our face, it really begins to loosen the jaw, but then also to loosen the diaphragm as well. And we're going to get into the clavicles now, which is just sort of near your armpits. Again, just with one hand and then the other. Just really massaging into that space. And these are just some really lovely pressure points to start to relieve a little bit of tension. And they're all supporting our breathing. So we're just going to go up into underneath our collarbone. And all the while you're doing this, just keep taking that breath all the way down into the tummy. And we're going to do our solar plexus acupressure point now. So if you just feel where the bottom of the rib cage is, and then maybe go down about an inch. And as you're breathing in and out, just start to give that area a little bit of a massage. It might feel a little bit tense. It's a collection of nerves that gather here. Again, if we are tense within our diaphragm, if we are holding our breath throughout the day, we can just start to collect a little bit of tension here. So when you're ready, just return into a comfortable position. And if you need to place your hands on your tummy and your heart space just to feel where the breath is going, I invite you to do that. And I want you to start to breathe in and take the breath all the way down into the tummy before coming up into the chest. Just in and out through the nose. And just watching the breath and noticing what it does. And I want you to begin to expand into that space. And on the next inhale, I want you to begin to count how long you're inhaling for, and then notice how long you are exhaling for. And again, not passing any judgment, not making up any stories why the inhale or the exhale might be longer, but just notice it. And on the next breath, whichever is the shorter breath, so whether that's the inhale or the exhale, I want you to try to extend it by the count of 1. And what we're going to try and do here is get our breath to meet in the middle. So if the inhale is shorter than the exhale, I want you to expand it until it begins to meet the exhale. If you need to drop the one that is the extended one, so if the exhale is longer, if you need to drop that by 1 to meet with the other, you can do that too. And this is called a balanced breath. And not only is it a balance in count, but it also begins to bring balance to your body and your nervous system too. So if you are feeling anxious or stressed, or even the other end of the spectrum, if you're feeling tired and sluggish, this breath will bring you into equilibrium. And if you can, I want you to expand both by 1. So just taking the breath a little bit further, a little bit deeper, not forcing it, just doing what feels comfortable. And if you're not lying down already, I'm going to invite you to do so at this point. And we're going to do a few rounds of the conscious connected breath. So I want you to find a space to lay down. Maybe as you lay down, just bring your knees up so the feet are on the floor. And with the conscious connected breath, it's all about connecting the inhale and the exhale at the top and the bottom. So we're gonna go through our nose, inhaling and exhaling through our nose. And it's around 70% effort on the inhale. And we're taking it into the tummy space, into the heart space. And then it's about a 30% on the exhale. So we'll do a couple of rounds together. And then I'm going to invite you to do this at your own pace, because this is a really personal breath. And I know everybody has really different preferences for this. So if we inhale to the tummy, to the chest, exhale through the nose, in, up, release, in, up, release, in, up, release. And if you continue to inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose at your own pace, keeping it as fluid and connected as possible at the top and the bottom. And trying not to blow or push the air out on the exhale. It's just a release. It is a surrender. It doesn't matter how quickly you do this breath, so long as the breath is connected at the top and the bottom. And as you move into this breath and this pace, I want you to imagine that with every inhale, you are breathing into those areas of tension, of tightness. And with every exhale, it's a sigh, it's a release, it's a letting go. And it's completely normal with this breath to feel a little bit of resistance. This breath is breath work, so it can feel uncomfortable for the body. And actually, when we spend such a long time in our fight or flight or stress states, that can feel like the norm. So when we do start to be still, to slow down, it can feel scary for our bodies. It can feel unfamiliar. So on the next inhale, I'm going to invite you to hold your breath at the top for as long as feels comfortable to you. And I want you to notice what's going on within your body and how your body feels in the stillness. And whenever you're ready, we're going to go into this breath again, just keeping it with the nose, in and out through the nose. So in, up, release, in, up, release, into the tummy, up to the chest, and release, into the tummy, up into the chest, release. Just keep going with this breath at your own pace. The mind usually starts to try and chatter or tell you stories about what you can and can't do. And at this point, I'm just going to invite you to listen to your body and what your body's saying. Our mind is amazing. She's smart. She's intelligent. But sometimes she forgets that she's in a two-way conversation with our body. And our body tries to tell us things too that we forget to listen to. So in this space, with this breath, with this beautiful connected breath, I invite you to listen to what your body is trying to tell you. What are the stories or the messages or the feelings that you can hear when you listen in? Because our bodies are wise. And if we listen to them, if we listen to our guts, and if we quieten down that logical mind, we can usually get to the root of what we need much quicker. So I'm going to just remind you to take that breath deeper, all the way to the tummy and into the chest before that sigh on the exhale. Try not to blow the air out. Just keep it a steady release. And just notice what's going on within your body. Is the mind busy? Are you present? Is your body telling you things, or are you noticing things that you maybe didn't before? Are you holding any tension in your hips or in your shoulders or in your jaw? And with each sigh, I want you to imagine a letting go. And with the next inhale, I'm going to invite you to hold your breath at the top for as long as feels comfortable for you. It could be 5 seconds, it could be 10, it could be a minute. Just whatever feels comfortable for you. And it's in this space, in this stillness, I invite you to notice how you're feeling. Do you feel peaceful, happy, sad? Not labeling any of the emotions that come up, just noticing them and connecting to them and just letting them be. And we're going to do one more round of this breath. If you want to deepen the practice any, you can inhale through the nose and then exhale through the mouth. But if the inhalation and the exhalation through the nose is enough for you, just stick with that. There's no need to force or push anything. So again, we're going to inhale to the tummy space, bring it up to the heart space, and a sigh, a release. In, up, release. In, up, release. And in this final round of conscious connected breath, I want you to just see if you can be really present with the breath. Whatever the mind is saying, wherever it's trying to take you to, just ask it to pause for a moment. Let her know we'll be back with her in a minute. Just ask if she can stay quiet whilst we really connect in with this breath and our body. Just going at your own pace. Noticing what you're feeling. If you need to slow it down, do so. It's your body, it's your breath. Do what works for you. If you can, take it a little bit deeper. You can maybe quicken the pace. Sometimes this breath can make our body feel a little bit light or a little bit tingly, and that's okay. But you don't want to be going too far. You shouldn't be feeling pins and needles or anything like that. So just keep it at a pace that's right for you. And I want you to ask yourself today, on Mother's Day, what it is that you would like to gift yourself. What is it that you need today? As mums, I think we put everybody else first. We're always worrying about other people's needs, what our children need. And we forget to ask ourselves exactly what it is that we need. So I want you to ask yourself that now. and listen in. Because it's our energy and it's our light and it's our love that we give to everybody else, but we cannot pour from an empty cup. And by you gifting yourself this space and this time and gifting yourself what you need, you are doing everything you can to share that light and love with your family. So again, I'm going to invite you to hold the breath at the top of the inhale for as long as feels comfortable for you. And notice how you feel in your body. Notice the different sensations, not attaching any story or judgment, but being really curious about what it is you're feeling, where you're feeling it, and what's coming up. And we're going to now just take ourselves back to the optimal breath, the one-on-one breathing. And really take our breath all the way down the back. And we're going to, as we inhale, imagine the breath is going over us like a wave and down the back of us. And as we inhale, as we exhale, imagine it coming up and washing over us. And we're going to take a few rounds of these really deep, nourishing breaths. So filling up the lungs from the bottom all the way to the top. And imagining that breath surrounding us. And then as we exhale, imagine it washing over us. And just trying to take the breath as deep as you can. There's no need to worry about connecting the breath at the top and the bottom. Just trying to expand the breath. You might feel your diaphragm stretching. You might feel your lungs expanding. And if we're not used to breathing into some of these spaces, it can feel a little bit unusual. And as you lay down on the floor, on the inhale, I encourage you to try and push the air into the back of your lungs as well. So maybe feeling your back push against the floor as you breathe into that space that we don't often breathe into. And this breath is all about filling your body up with fresh oxygen. It's about breathing into the spaces that we don't breathe into all the time. And it's pushing out that stagnant air. And it's replacing it with vibrant, energetic, fresh air that's going to fill us up and nourish us. So keep really filling those lungs up before you exhale. You can do in through the nose and out through the nose, or in through the mouth and out through the mouth. And maybe on your next exhale, if you feel comfortable to do so, you're in a place that you can do so, just release with a sigh, with a ha. Just really letting go of that stagnant air that you want to shake out, to push away. Just releasing it with an energetic ha. And we're going to just return to our normal breathing pattern for a moment. We're going to be just still. Just notice at the end of those couple of breaths, how your body's feeling. Just connect to the body. And whenever you're ready, I'm going to invite you to start to come up into a seated position. And I'll let you come around for a minute. We're going to have a bit of a play around now with the espresso breath. So the espresso breath is a lovely breath if you want a natural energy boost. So it does what it says on the tin, rather than heading for our caffeine kick. This one gives us a bit of an energetic kick. And it's great if you want some energy. It's also great if you're feeling maybe a little bit burnt out. So sometimes when our nervous system becomes overwhelmed and we've reached capacity, and you go into that shutdown state, which is very much wanting to do nothing, not feeling connected to anything. Your mind is maybe telling you can't do that. So this is really good for kind of bringing us back up into a more regulated state of our nervous system. So that's why it's called the espresso breath, because it gives us a bit of a boost. And similar to the conscious connected breath, it's going into both parts of the breathing system. So we're going to go into the belly and into the chest. And the way I like to remember it, this one is it's sniff, sniff, sigh. So it's sniff, sniff, up into this, in this space, into this space, and a sigh. And we're going to do this quite quickly. So we'll do a few rounds, try and do it as quickly as possible. And I'll stop us after the first round and we'll just take a minute to notice how we're feeling. So whenever you're ready, sniff, sniff. And just pause and close your eyes if they're not already. And I'm just going to invite you to notice how that feels in your body. Especially after doing some of the maybe more mellow techniques. How does that feel? We'll do another couple of rounds of this. So we'll go again. Sniff, sniff. And again, just pause for a minute. And just notice how you're feeling. Does it feel, do you feel a little bit buzzy, a little bit agitated? What's the energetic shift that's happened within the body? I want you to notice as well how this breath resonates with you. Because with all breath work, with all practices, each and every one of our nervous systems are completely unique. They're like our fingerprints. No one is the same. So what might work well for one person might not for another, or what might work well in one moment for you might not in another. And it's all about paying attention to how something feels and the sensations when you use that particular technique or that tool. So we'll do one last round of this and then we'll have a bit of fun with some somatic work. So again, sniff, sniff, sigh, sniff, sniff, sigh. And pause when you're ready. So with this one, for me, I start to feel a little bit, I can feel the energy shift and maybe feel a bit on the agitated side. But there's definitely a shift in energy, an upward shift in energy. So what we're going to do now, because there usually is a bit of a shift in energy with this one, maybe just start to shake it out. If you've got the space to do so, I would encourage you to stand up. I'm going to see if I can shift this ever so slightly so you can still see me. And we're just going to shake it out a minute. So just start to, that espresso breath is really up-regulating the nervous system. And that means there's a lot of energy that's then within the body. So just give it a good shake. This is a great one to do with the kids as well, if they're a little bit agitated or they're feeling a little bit stressed out. They can get them to sort of shake that energy. And we're going to do a little bit of tapping now. So I'm going to ask you to follow me. We're just going to start to tap the body. And we're just going to move around the body and just start to tap just whatever kind of intensity you need to do. So just move around the body. And get to the hips again. Up our back where our kidneys are. I'm going to go to the front, to that womb space. I'm going to go down one of your legs. Take it all the way down. And just kind of tap the feet and the ankles as well. Just tap the feet and the ankles. And when we're back at the top, I'm just going to ask you to close down your eyes. And again, just connect into the body. And just notice how you're feeling the shift in the energy. This tapping technique is all about working with the meridians within the body, so the energetic lines. And it's about shifting the energy. So anything that's maybe a bit stagnant, that's not moving, it's just about connecting to that and getting that moving again. So we'll do one last round of the tapping, so just follow me again. shoulders, into the chest, down the arms. We go to the hips and the kidneys. And get that energy moving, get the tummy. All the way down to the legs. Get those ankles, break the immunity. Hit your feet. And come up the other side. Again, just being still. And just noticing how you're feeling. I'm going to invite you to sit back down. You can sit down or lie down for this final part. We're going to just do a bit of a grounding meditation before we finish up. So I'm going to invite you to close down your eyes again. Make sure that you're feeling comfortable, whether that is seated or laying down. And just making sure that the jaw is relaxed, the shoulders are dropped, and your palms are facing upwards. And we're going to connect back into the movement of the breath. Always using the breath as an anchor for us in the moment. And I want you to bring your awareness to the base of your spine. And I want you to start to take the breath into this space. So imagine the breath going all the way down to the base of the spine, to the pelvic area. Just beginning to fill it up. And just breathe in some of the fresh, nourishing breath and energy into this space on the inhale. And on the exhale, just letting go of any tension that you're holding on to, maybe in the hips or at the bottom of the back. And I want you to now imagine that there is a bright light, a bright red light, just at the base of the spine and in the pelvic area. And I want you to tune into this light and this space. And I want you to feel that with every inhale, the light glows brighter and redder. And it's at this chakra, at this root chakra, where we are connected to home, to safety, to security. It's the root of our relationships, jobs, money. It's all of those early experiences with our parents. Everything is connected to this space. And as we're breathing into this space, I want you to feel the affirmations that I'm going to say now, and I want you to take them into this space. I want you to feel them lighting up and reverberating and giving it a fresh lease of life and energy. I am strong and stable. I am safe. I am secure in my body and in my home and in this world. My relationship with money is loving. I am safe I am stable. Safety is inherent and my birthright. I feel connected and grounded in this space. I am anchored in my physical body. I feel safe and secure and supported fully in the expression of who I am. I feel safe to be who I am in my relationships and with the people that matter most to me. I am connected to the earth and I am grounded within my body. I forgive myself and I let go of anything that no longer serves me or that I no longer need. I am safe, I am secure, and I am fully supported. And I want you to take a deep breath in and just hold it at the top for 10 seconds before letting go with a really big sigh. We're going to bring the practice to a close here. And I recommend lots of water, lots of stillness and slowness and steadiness today, if you get that luxury. And just connect to the breath, if that's all you can do in the moment. So thank you so much for joining. I will share the replay as well, and have a lovely, lovely Mother's Day.